What's up? Right. We have to dive in today. I got 2 hours, less than 2 hours right now. I got to make a lot of progress. We're going to be moving fast through our to-do list on our video consultation app. You got a leaky faucet? Instead of calling out a plumber to look at it, why not just FaceTime him? Maybe he can tell you how to fix it right then and there. That's the idea that one of my clients have, and that's what I'm building. So, also there will be, we will have another guy, hopefully my boy Simon will join us in a few minutos. And let's get on it. So I went ahead and made this timeline. We are hoping to complete the booking form, whereby is the technology we're going to use for video chat. We got to complete some basic integrations there. And then notifications, meaning, you know, once you schedule an appointment, you should get text messages for that. So that's really Twilio. Maybe I should rename this here. Basic text notifications. Should tell you, confirm when your appointment is, remind you when the appointment's happening. That sort of stuff. I made my list last night. It's pretty long. We have a bug on the invoice that's happening right now. We got to fix that. And then the ones in red here, I need the client's help on, so they're kind of blocked. So then we're going to hop right over to deploying to staging. And then I need to refactor the Stripe checkout piece. This is what I'm hoping to accomplish today. I was supposed to accomplish all this today. It's not going to happen. Deploy to staging, refactor Stripe, and then there's a couple other things that are not getting stored correctly. What just dinged at me? What just dinged at me? Stay in a call. Oh, I see. Although I do need to switch this, don't I? Microphone is correct. Output is meet and monitor. I think I need my sound to go there. I'm not sure. I might have to mess with my sound settings in a second. Yeah, and then we got to store data a little bit better on the back end side of things in ServiceTitan, if you recall correctly. So let's figure out this bug on invoice. Let me go open up my cursor. Curses. You guys remember that from Powerpuff Girls? Was that the name of the show? In-town plumbing app. Okay. Blow this up a little bit. Full screen it. And we're going to do npm run dev. I want to go ahead and debug this. And I already know the logic is one of the issues I was having. Oh yeah, let's go look at that actually. If we pop this open, boom. The SKU name of virtual service was not found. So something is going wrong there that we need to investigate. And it's not routes. I believe job types. So that's fetching job types. Everything else was in this services, right? Nope, not services, handler. More stuff we need to refactor in the future. So here we are creating the job. That succeeded. Here, though, I guess, is where things were going awry. Virtual service. I'm like, did I just misspell this? Virtual service. Seems like it's spelled correctly. We need to go check this on integration ServiceTitan.com dashboard. I actually do want to leave this up just so I can make sure I know what's happening over there. Okay, so in ServiceTitan, this was a service, right? Recurring service types. Role permissions, job. Nope, hold on, price book. Okay, this is confusing. There's a lot of ServiceTitan settings in the general settings. Price book is what had the services. And then we had virtual, virtual service. So I'm not sure. This code should be what this is. I'll just line it up because it should become pretty obvious if it was misspelled or something. It's not. So, I mean, we'll test this again in just a second here. I just trying to get my bearings here. Let's go back to the error, make sure we know. So remember, yesterday we never did put in the proper error handling here. I guess I can put that inside the error handler, can I not? Or in the route. Okay, this takes me back to the ServiceTitan documents. Let's go to API list. Job planning and management. Default errors. I want to know what this looks like. Error response. Simon's on the way. Error response. What is that? Error response of. So generic error response looks like this. Error response of JPM v2 export appointments response represents. Okay, sorry, this is not the error. I was thinking maybe this was the error. What did I miss here? True object, providing more details. It doesn't say what that is. So I guess we just need to stringify it. Just do it the simple way. I'm going to come back here also and say each route error. So first of all, each route should use the same reusable error handler and should print out a JSON stringified errors object. See if it can manage that. See if it can manage that. Okay, yes, do it. I just want to, because I want to know exactly, we can't see exactly what these errors are. I mean, it should have been found. I'm spelling it right. It was working before. Working. It was working. API error, message stack code, status name. Can I go back to here? Type title, status trace ID. Yeah, it's not 100%. Handle API error, which now comes over here. Okay, good. Sort of good. Error unknown. If there's an error, we pass in the error with the message and the log prefix. It's going into here. So this error, it's unknown, but it's an error object. If it's instance of error, do all this junk. If it's just an object, it's trying to do some of that. But we kind of know I don't know. This is going to be bigger than I was hoping for. Because I don't know at this point in this route handler. Okay. I am going to... Oh, that's kind of a nice view, actually. Just do like a quick get status and see where it's making all the changes. Booking route, route, error handler. It looks benign enough. We'll go ahead and run this. Now let me test and make sure error handling is working correctly. Okay, fine. I'm thinking about a new workflow, actually, where I commit every single time the agent runs and makes changes to my code base. You know? You feel me? And then if it has any issues along the way, I can just roll it back. See, like, what is it doing now? Perfect. Now let me test the error handler works correctly by creating a simple test. Like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want you to be testing stuff. I'm going to worry about that later. Allow, I guess. Admit. Okay, here we go. Hi. Can you hear me?
Good morning, San Diego.
I gotta make sure they can hear you. Good morning, San Diego. Are you in San Diego? Oh, he can't hear me. Okay, now I'm off mute. That's an improvement.
Yeah.
And it's not picking up your audio. Let me check why that might be.
1, 2, 3.
Wait, say again.
Testing.
Oh, it's picking you up. All right. And then I think I have to resource. See if I can get your face on here.
Okay.
If that's cool with you.
Sure. Are you live right now?
I am. Well, that's weird. It's like not working. There we go. It's always good to get consent, kids. Let's see. Why is it not? Hold on. I don't know if this is a problem with my Streamlabs. It's not letting me edit the source real time. I wonder if I can't do that. Add window capture. No, I think it's just kind of broken. Huh. Okay. I guess. Oh, wait. Now it might work now. Okay. Here we go. How do I find my other little browser window? Is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. Done. Okay. Real-time setup here. So now I got to minimize myself. So I just see you. Oh, you're so tiny. Tiny little Simon head. Here we go. Try to blow
Should
you
I
up.
be seeing your screen?
Not yet, because I'm not,
Okay.
I haven't shared. So now I got to share my entire screen. You know, so one of these days I'm going to have to like automate this setup, you know?
Hmm.
Ignore, and then I should be able, oh, last time I had to pin you or something. Oh, no, I had to change the layout. That's right. I got to go, not picture in picture, change layout to spotlight. Yes. And then do not spotlight me, spotlight you. You pin to screen for everyone. Pin. Still not working. Sorry, bear with me, you guys. Or is that this? How do I stop annotating? I thought this is what I did last time. Spotlight. Stop annotating. Unpin, that's why. Okay. So by default, when I share my screen, it tries to pin it. Tries to keep it around.
Okay.
Okay. Your head is still smaller, but I think that's as good as it's going to get. Show the full video. I don't know what that means.
I could zoom in on the Google, but I don't think it really matters.
Yeah, I was going to try one more thing because I was thinking usually there's a full screen button. I was wondering if that would work, but I'm not going to worry about it.
Let's see.
I'm actually on a bit of a time crunch today. Can I make this a little bit? Oh, there you go. Oh, yeah, that's better. I see what you're saying. Okay, good enough. Good enough for the government. And I'm going to lock this so I don't screw it up. Okay, on a time crunch today, but I got, because I got to do a podcast recording in an hour and a half, so I'm trying to make it do a bunch of features. The first one, well, the first thing being a bug, and then I got this whole list of ready to work deals here. I wanted to deploy to the staging environment. Actually, I realized after you mentioned it yesterday or 2 days ago, Simon, that I would have to refactor this Stripe thing sooner than later because I need to be sending a lot more data to ServiceTitan, and I can only send that data to ServiceTitan after we go through that Stripe checkout sequence. So I didn't want to just keep slamming a bunch of parameters into that Stripe redirect URL like we were doing before. So I was trying to put that off, but I think it'll just be a lot cleaner code and better experience if we just bite that bullet and do it now. It's all about the trade-offs, ladies and gents. And then I can go store the extra location information I was trying to store, so I can feed that to ServiceTitan, and then there's more after that. So this bug on invoice, what I was trying to do here is, first of all, have better error handling, because one of the things that I saw, it's poorly formatted because Miro doesn't format things great in here. They don't have like a code thing. But anyways, you get the idea right here. It did return an errors field, but because it was not JSON stringifying it, it doesn't give me any detail to the errors. So I just want to get a better error handling in place to make sure that stuff's always getting printed out. And I'm actually going to go ahead and get on a feature branch here of some sort. What are we working on? Bug invoice. All right, let's do that then, actually. Bug invoice. Not updating. Deleting file. So I asked AI to rewrite the error handler, and it got close, of course, but oh, now it's telling me the summary. Yeah, just do it. But it doesn't conform exactly to the API error response from ServiceTitan. So that's one thing I wanted to make sure was in here, because at some point, if instances error object is blah, blah, blah. Like there is some interface ServiceTitan error. This is going to have message code status name, close but not quite, type title. I think I just copied all this.
Put it on slushy.
Slushy?
Yes.
Here. Thanks, Katara.
Yeah. Love you.
Everyone should have kids because but they won't be as amazing as mine. So sorry. Slushy. Okay, so this is my favorite thing to do, Simon, is like, I just copied a bunch of this random data off the web page here, just copied it, pasted it, and then AI went through and just finished the job for me, right?
Nice.
It's like one of my favorite little things. And then just deletes it all. So type, title, status, trace ID, errors, data. Type, title, status, trace ID, errors, data. Errors is an object. We don't know what kind of object, which is lame. But that's exactly what we're trying to solve for. So how do I know if error instance of ServiceTitan error, like that's not really going to work. So I feel like I have to say if error, like what would be a dead giveaway here? Actually, you know what? I don't know that I care. I think right now I just want to say if error dot, try this. Yeah, kind of like that, but I want to say errors. So if it has errors, error, what's it doing? I want to make sure, oh, it's doing this string thing. Like, I don't know if that's going to work, to be honest with you. I just want to console log this. But not like that. I want to say stringify. Just want to stringify error dot errors as ServiceTitan error. Okay, poor man's log catching here to do improve this error handling. But it should at least work. So I've got my debugger running. I'm going to try to go back through and reproduce the error now that we have some better logging in place. At the end of yesterday, we do now have, so this has changed. It used to be hard-coded data. This is now pulling data from ServiceTitan. So you have to go into ServiceTitan, whatever services you want to show up here on this little form, you have to mark those services in the correct, what is it? I think it's just business unit. As long as those services are within this business unit, then it will show up here. And I got to get more client feedback on exactly how they want that laid out. Okay, then we've got this funky date select. Have you ever seen a date select like this? It's like graying out the...
No, not like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe, yeah, that's not.
I don't like it. AI did it. It's not my fault.
Why is it constraining you to that month?
I don't know. It was one of those silly things where I just told Cursor, I was like, hey, just give me a, I told it, I said, give me the standard date picker. Like, refactor this code and use a standard date picker. And this is what it gave me. Like, this is not standard.
Yeah, maybe that's where you could add in some components, like off the shelf. Was it Shad CN or what's the
I guess. Yeah, I thought I was using, I guess it's just using till, and we went over that already. So I guess it's not really using a framework right now. Yeah, you're probably right. Okay. So here we've got our breakpoint, which is good. So we're about to go create the job data. What is it? F10. Step over. So create the job data. Bada boom, bada bing. Create the job. Step over. Job created. Get invoice by job ID. So I'm assuming this is the right job ID. The tenant, I think, is the right tenant. Probably shouldn't hover over those keys there. And then that should get us the invoice. Intent plumbing, created on, balance 0, etc. Employee info, job info.
Do you want a date picker?
Eventually. No, I think we will. Okay. I think I'm going to put that under like a separate effort where we need to bring in a library and rewrite. Like, we'll have to have a concerted effort to like bring in a new library, rewrite at least one component, make sure the standard is clear in the repository. Okay, so we have invoice stuff. Here's an ID. It's the right ID. We have all this. Updated invoice data, items 1. Description. Technician ID, SKU name. Oh, you know what this might be? Well, we're going to find out because we got our better logging in place, right? So if we go one more step, it should fail. That's good. I'm going to pop in here, see if it actually catches the... So this is our generic API handler. It should detect that it's a ServiceTitan error because it should have errors. It did not. Doggone it. Oh, the error object is empty? Shnikes. What happened there? So, constants, handler. So my guess is that there's a try catch in here somewhere. No. We never got to invoice updated through the error. It should have been on this route here. So this route calls the handler. We got here, we came down here, error. Bad response. Well, this is weird. What's happening here? What the fudge? Block. Okay, I don't. Oh, because this is an Axios error. That's why. Okay, that's why my logic failed here. So the Axios error. That's another to-do I need up in here then, don't I? Axios error handling. How do you like that? All those typos. So
Yep.
Response data. This is the one I was looking for. This is the errors object I was expecting. Errors just says SKU name is not found with this trace ID. I wonder if there's a way. If I have a trace ID of a bad request. Hey, what's up, Pushkar? If I have a trace ID of a bad request in ServiceTitan, can I go find the logs for that trace ID? Somewhere in my admin, I don't know, admin portal or something? Oops. I doubt it. I doubt there's going to be anything. You cannot directly search logs, blah, blah, blah. What you can do, trace ID, debugging, getting an API error. You can sometimes find things in reports audit trail, but they don't include that, yada, yada. Yeah, can you see him? Can you see and hear him? Pushkar says, new guest today. This is
Hey,
Simon. He was on 2 or 3 days ago. And he's back. Guess who's back? All right, so let's try this. Copy value. Is that so? One thing I kind of know, because we talked about this in other requirements meetings, is that the customer said something about the fact that the technician had to be assigned, like you have to give the technician a capability, and the capability would be something like the technician is able to provide this service before you can actually book that service for that technician. I'm not sure why ServiceTitan does that. It kind of makes sense, I guess. So I'm just going to ask GPT, is that because the technician is maybe not configured for that service? And I'll have to go, let's see here. It's not typically caused by technician configuration. Here's what's happening. Price book, double check, spelling case sensitive, confirm it's published. The weird thing is that this was working just fine. I don't remember seeing this error ever. So I feel like something has changed. SKU name, SKU ID. Okay, well, that's not a bad idea. Contextual availability. If your company uses business units, the SKU might be restricted to specific business units and not that. So let's make sure. So this is the ServiceTitan side. This is the service I'm trying to use. I'm looking for like a business unit field here. Recommendations, videos, project label, categories, materials, equipment, workflow, do nothing. Code, it should be that code. wouldn't this work? Recommendations. You got any ideas?
Not yet. Let's help me understand where the disconnect is.
Oh, I know him. Your Pushkar says, I didn't know coders are usually so gorgeous. Simon,
AI.
Simon
It's a
is
filter.
pretty gorgeous, I will say. It makes me jelly sometimes.
Oh, stop.
So,
Not helping with my career though, for some reason.
well, you're in the wrong career, my friend. You need to be in a more gorgeous,
know.
friendly career.
Well, there's a joke that I was tempted to say, but I don't think we want to
Keep it PG for the kids.
keep it PG.
Okay, so what's going on? You guys know about the rubber duck, right? Rubber duck on your desk, you talk to it. Talking out loud helps you solve problems. So
Claude is the new rubber duck.
I know, right? Well, Claude, GPT, like they're not helping. Possible fixes, okay, but pro tip, yeah. I mean, it's possible. Well, no, because I'm still working on integration environment. Anyways, so what's going wrong? So basically what has to happen here, if we just kind of look at this flow in the code. Great, I got to sneeze.
Plastic.
Thank you. There's a couple things happening. A lot of this is kind of not relevant here. So I'm going to try to collapse it all. But this is the whole function. So we're trying to create a job appointment. That's what we're doing. And on the web flow, the user put in their information. They went through the Stripe checkout sequence. They paid. Now we're trying to just book the appointment. So we have to basically go in and set up all the back-end data in ServiceTitan the right way. They've already paid, mind you. So, what this means is we set up a couple services we're going to use. We get a new auth token so that we can make API requests. Definitely not the most production-ready thing, but it works for now. Appointments starts before. Calculate appointment starts before. So we calculate the date of the appointment, the start time, I should say. Check if customer already exists. So ServiceTitan, right, it will sort of look up a customer, and if it knows about this customer before, just based on like name and address information, it will try to reuse existing customer information. So we do a little bit of that logic. Eventually, which I guess is... Where is it? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. We then check to see if the job already exists. Probably a duplicate check that doesn't need to happen, to be honest with you. Probably a chunk of code that doesn't need to exist. Doesn't matter. Point is, we check if it exists. We then put together the job data. So who the customer, the location, the business unit. Business unit. Wait, hold on a second. Business unit? Might want to make sure that's right. Okay, remind me. We're going to come back to business unit in a second. And then we create the job. And then every job, when it first gets created, it gets like a default invoice associated with that job, right? And it's just like a blank template. It's just, we expect to get paid at some point from this, right? So it creates the blank template, and then you have to go add the line item, right? So on that invoice, because a single invoice might be like, you know, you charge them for like the drive out there, you charge them for 2 or 3 pieces of equipment, you charge them for the service, whatever. So like one of these line items needs to be the virtual service call, because that's all it is. We're not dispatching anybody. It's just a FaceTime chat or whatever. So we're trying to just add one single line item to say, And again, they've already paid for it, right? So they've already paid through Stripe. So we're just trying to add that into our accounting books on the ServiceTitan side. Does that all make sense?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. So here we look up the invoice, and then we're just trying to add the virtual service SKU name here. And I believe get blame, open blame for prior change.
Do you have that created in Stripe?
Yeah, it's in Stripe.
Okay. I think I did something similar for a subscription application. It's like a product ID or something.
Yeah, and it's a little odd because you have to put it, it's like you're using Stripe for the transaction, but we're using ServiceTitan for the ledger, if that makes sense. So like you have to go through Stripe to pay, and then whatever happens in Stripe, we have to duplicate that in our system for record keeping. Actually, I say our system. What I mean is ServiceTitan, because that's what the client is using for their back end, like ERP sort of thing. Okay. One thing I'm suspicious about is this business unit ID. So, and I need to be careful because I did move this. Oh no, this is a constant. Virtual service business unit. I'm not sure if this is the right business unit ID. Maybe this is something I accidentally changed. So we're going to go to settings in ServiceTitan. We're going to search for business units. Virtual consultations here. I'm going to edit this. And this ID, 76 whatever, should be the same as that. Yeah, it looks the same. So that is correct. What else? What else? Confirm it's published. Price book services tab. Okay, I do want to check the API here. I'm kind of curious to see if the API is going to give us any other interesting information on this. Let's see. Have I worked on Web3? No, I've never done a Web3 project. Have you, Simon? Jeremy?
Oh yeah, I thought Web3 isn't that? I'm sorry. What's the?
Wait, oh, I gotta
What do you mean by Web3?
I'm thinking like blockchain stuff.
Oh. No.
Collections. Okay, so in here somewhere we've got. I guess this is services, right? There should be something in here about. We have business unit, payments, invoices, estimate. I don't see services in here yet, so I might have to go put this new API call together. So let's go back out to here. I don't think it's going to be here. API reference. Oh, price book. Okay, so all the services stuff is in price book. So here's what this API starts to look like. / price book services. Grab that. Come over here. Let's just duplicate this one for starters. List jobs. This is going to be list services, I guess. Base URL is going to remain the same. Does this not have a tenant ID? It does. Pricebook v2 tenant whatever. So then this is just Pricebook v2 tenant job types. What, services? Just punch that. Okay, so this works. And we have, I don't know how many data results are in here, probably a lot. Can we filter on you know what? I'm looking at the export here. I just want to go down to get services. Request parameters. You can filter on tenant or something. Page size. IDs. Perform lookup by multiple IDs. I guess I know my ID because it should be this one right here. So if I just say IDs and the value is this, and I send that, does it work? Okay, it works. It should be the only one. It has an ID, it has a code, a virtual service, and we've already double checked this, I think before you joined, Simon, but if I go back to the code, virtual service SKU name is right here. And that should just be, no, don't do that. It's freaking, it keeps giving me an AI suggestion, and tab is to complete it. So I keep accidentally completing. So that's the right service. That's the right code. But I guess I'm now wondering, like, we've got these categories of residential. Like, is this a problem? Would this be a problem for the service info? Hours, labor, recommendations, upgrades, assets. I was hoping to see something like business units and to see that maybe it was assigned to the wrong business unit. This says business unit ID is null. But again, like this was working before. And I don't even see anything in here that lets me assign it to a business unit, unless that's a separate form somewhere. Maybe I'll ask. Let's see. Indicates that nope, category is not the problem. Here's what to check instead. Settings, price book, services, search is the SKU. Must be visible and not archived. Are you using SKU or SKU ID? If using SKU name, it has to match exactly. Well, that's what I'm doing. I do see business unit. Well, okay. Well, yeah, I checked this because this was debugging it. Because right here, virtual service SKU name. That is the SKU name. What about I do see that business unit null. Absolutely could be the culprit. Is scope to a specific business unit. Why this matters, what to do. Business unit availability section. Make sure the job has the right business unit ID if you're passing null or an ID that doesn't match. I think this is out of date though. I don't see, there is no business unit information over here. Can you hear that?
No.
Okay, that's good. Service location stuff. My youngest daughter, like, stubbed her toe a couple days ago, and she just keeps stubbing it again and again and again. And I think that's what I'm hearing in the background right now. I hate this. How do we debug this, you guys? I need ideas.
Quad code.
Claude code. You know, well, okay. Let's check something. Well, actually, first of all, if we go to cursor, and if I say, hey, maybe I'll just do the ask this time because I don't want it to get crazy. Hey, I'm running into an error. The error is SKU name virtual service not found. Copy value.
Make sure the model's on Claude 4 Sonnet if you can. But you go to the instead of auto on the right, it's in the other menu. Turn off auto and just get Claude. Yeah, Claude 4 Sonnet.
Looks like that's the one.
Okay.
When I'm trying to update the invoice in handler, what could be going wrong? No, it definitely exists. The problem is clear now. The SKU name doesn't exist in your ServiceTitan system. Here are the steps to fix this. Stop. The SKU name definitely exists in the ServiceTitan system, but for some reason it's not finding it. Okay. I was thinking maybe I need to double check my environment variables and all that. Like, what if I was not pointing to integration environment? But I think that's silly because I just booked something for Monday. Whoops, come back here. Next week. And it did book it correctly. Like, this is the one that I just tried to book with Pedro. And we can probably still see some of that in the logs here because, for example, if I scroll up, this is the job ID 696 whatever 76 whatever, which is the same one here. Hopefully it ends in 468. So it's like it created the job in the right environment. Business unit. This is the virtual consultations business unit.
So you're just trying to get the SKU ID from the service? Is that what you're trying to do after the checkout?
So I'm trying to update the invoice to add this line item to the invoice. So I'm trying to, yeah, in fact, okay, let's rewind this a little bit. It's a good point, Simon. So if I go to here, okay, our good friend Paul, he already had an update invoice API call here. So let's see if I can reuse this. So ServiceTitan base URL, accounting v2. I'm going to go to the correct tenant, ServiceTitan tenant, invoices, whatever. So we need the invoice ID, which looks like it's this right here. This is an update. The body here. So this is really the same, very close to the same body here. Well, so he's actually not using the SKU name here, but it would be SKU name virtual service. If I send this, virtual service not found. Okay, so this is the same API call that we're doing in the code. We're now doing in Postman. And what I wanted to try real quick is if we go back to the API details here. This is accounting. Okay, I think accounting is oops, go back. API reference, accounting is its own set of endpoints here. We're doing accounting invoices, post on invoices. Question is, request body, we've got number, type ID, invoice, summary, blah, blah, blah. Where's the SKU name? Because I'm wondering if they accept a SKU ID. Maybe I should just use the SKU ID like a smart person instead of a... So if I say, fine, use SKU ID, update it to that, try to update it. You see that? 200. It says okay. It said, okay.
You didn't get any response back?
Okay, boss. Well, there's no response body, but the status code is 200, which means it was successful. So, don't ask me why, because I don't know, but...
Something was created?
Yeah, and it didn't like... 14... It didn't like the code. Like I'm trying to send the code, which is technically correct according to the API. According to the API, you're allowed to send the SKU name, and it should match on that, I guess. But it was not, and it seemed like this was working at first. Like, dude, who knows? Like maybe this was never working, and maybe as we improved our code, we ended up finding this issue. But this particular API call certainly works if you're using the SKU ID. And theoretically, if I come back here and I go to this invoice now, so this is the job we created. Every job has an invoice, like I said. This one is pending. But if I go look at this invoice, I should now see some kind of virtual service line item. Yeah, there it is right here. See this? Virtual service was in fact added, and it says it's got the right business unit here. So I don't know, man. I don't know what I do.
Where are those values generated from? Like ideally,
which values?
The codes, like the SKU ID and.
So our client is the plumbing company. When the plumbing company folks come in here and they're setting everything up, they put in the codes. Because I think the reason for the codes, right, is because they're going to give this some kind of code like virtual service, and the expectation is that normally, again, like when that plumber comes out and looks at your sink or whatever, the plumber then has to say, here's the services I did for Simon. So he needs, so like he wants some kind of human readable codes because he says, oh, I did a virtual service for Simon. So he's going to go manually update this invoice after the fact in a lot of cases. Of course, we're doing it programmatically, so it's really better that we use IDs in the first place. And right now I'm doing everything as constants, mostly for speed. I'm just trying to get like demos and stuff working. So we're gonna swap this out to be this. And of course, this is gonna have to be SKU ID. Let's go ahead and let the system run. I'm gonna take out these breakpoints. Start over. Okay, let's try this all again. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna try a different one. Repair my water treatment system. And we're gonna go for today, I guess. Sure. Go for 4:30 today. Next. Regular stuffs. Pay. So now what I should see at 4:30, water treatment. If I go to the invoice, I should see the virtual service. If I go to my logging output, right there, invoice updated. That's a good sign. Payment response was an empty string or an empty array for whatever reason. Payment created. So that all works now. Just swapping out the ID instead of trying to look it up by name. I almost wonder if there was multiple virtual services, you know? What if there was duplicates? Leave this page. Maybe that's why it couldn't find it. Can I say status all? Virtual service. Can I research or look up? Oh, apply. No, there's still only one. Status all description. Edit columns. I don't know, but it works now. So we're going to move on. We're going to commit and push. Try to get the next thing done. Do a quick spot check of our codes. We added this handle API. Oh, you know what? Let's go fix that before we move on. So this failed because it was definitely an Axios error first. So add logic to handle Axios error. If the instance is Axios error, import that. Error object is all that. Hold on, let me think about this. I actually don't care if it's an Axios error per se. What I do care is this piece. So error response dot data. I think what I want to do, Simon, is I want to say I still don't know yet, actually. This is gonna be messy, but it is what it is. So if the error is an Axios error, then response dot data constant error response. I have to think through this. Like, I'm not even sure. AI is making suggestions, but I can't even tell if they're good or not because I don't even know exactly what the outcome is. Because what I want is I want to detect if it's a ServiceTitan error, and I still want to stringify that specific error. So I just want to know if there's data.errors. Stop making big suggestions. Just let me code for a second. If it does have errors, then ServiceTitan error is all of that. And error, I just keep suggesting this, but screw that. And then I just want to say console log. I want to go stringify. I want to do this like I was doing before. Okay. Again, this is really messy. I really need to clean all this up. I'm kind of tempted to delete a bunch of this code actually because it's not super helpful, to be honest. The only real thing that's helpful here that I'm counting on is that I am expecting Axios errors. If it's an Axios error, it's probably a ServiceTitan error. I'm just doing a quick check to see if it's got the expected errors sub-object, so I can make sure to print that out in a way that I can go debug that later. I mean, I guess it's creating this error object. What is it doing with this eventually? Error object, else, blah, blah, blah. And then it stringifies the error object. I guess I should have read this sooner. So, log the stringified error object. If instance error, it's going to grab all the errors, all the error fields here. Like theoretically, this should work. Okay, I might have to. I'm going to leave this in place because it looks like this is supposed to work. I'm going to say to do might not need this. I'm not going to know until the next time I run into an API error and it logs it out. Might not need this. See stringify below, but I'm going to leave it for now because I need to. The only thing that matters is delivering to the client, even if the code's a little bit crappy sometimes. Okay, diff again real quick here. So I refactored all my API error handler stuff here. That's good. Swapped out for the SKU ID. Oh, that's another good point. I should probably rename this A to SKU ID. A. Should be reflected here. Good. Yes, good. Interfaces. Yeah, fine. Error handler. Updated the constant. Good. Add. Fix. Used. Service ID. SKU ID. SKU ID. I'll just leave it at that. SKU ID. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and push that branch up. Ooh. Any comments, Simon?
Nope. With the checkout process, I thought you could pass back a URL parameter with some of those values, but I think you're doing it a different way.
Right.
Stripe, after confirmation, you should get some, you could create a URL that has some of those SKU IDs, but I don't know if that's the best way to do it.
Well, that's a really good point because no, you're 100% right. Normally, with these kinds of systems, like, how do I say this clearly? Normally, Stripe is telling you, the system, like what just happened, right? Stripe is telling you, hey, here's the products that were purchased, and here's a bunch of metadata about those products, including an ID that you're going to need. Like normally that would be the flow for these. In this case, this is kind of a special case because in this case, there's only one service offering in this entire flow. Like this entire product is just one service offering. It's book a consultation call and charge for that consultation call. So there is no, store with like 5 different options, 5 different SKU numbers, whatever. It's all just one thing. So I think in that case, we're sort of able to code a little bit differently. And like even in this case, this SKU ID is just a constant that's hard coded because we know it's always going to be the same thing. Now this might change down the road, right? Like to your point, Simon, maybe you can do like a 15-minute booking versus a, half-hour booking versus a 1-hour booking. So that would be 3 different products at that point. And then you might need to know that information from Stripe. Definitely multiple ways to handle this. Ken and Profit. Guy sounds like a tool. Kenan. Who gives himself the name Profit? Jeez. All right. How did you even find out that I was streaming? Thanks, Anya. Okay, what do we have left? I gotta do a podcast recording in 20 minutes, so we're going to try to fly, man. Try to fly. So bug on invoice, I'm gonna call this done, even though I haven't fully done that because I haven't merged it back to main. Ooh, this will be a good test though. So next on my list for today was deploying to staging. All this is running locally, localhost. You guys saw that. Localhost 3000. And so I just want to get this deployed, and we're going to use render for that because render is just really, really easy to do stuff. And you're welcome, Simon, because I almost did this last night. I was sipping my drink at like 11:30, and I was like, I just want to deploy this thing, but I was like, nah, I'll wait for the stream, so everybody can see how this looks. In fact, let me go back to in-town ITP, in-town plumbing. So one thing, I just want to deploy to staging for now. And what we're going to do is we're going to have every single push on our main branch go to staging. And then I actually I'm pretty opinionated on the way that I try to do my Git deployments because I really like tags. I can't remember if you and I did this. I think we did on previous projects, Simon, but we would always tag like a version number. We'd say version 1.0, 2.0, and based on the tag, that's when we would push our code base to whatever staging environment, right? And usually it was like in Docker, and then we would promote that Docker container to the production environment. That's a much more production ready flow. Since we're still in prototype and MVP land here with this product, we don't know if this product is going to last 3 months. We hope it does, but we don't know yet. So I just want to do like the simplest thing to get this deployed so people can test it, so we can get traction on the product, and then we'll come back and mature that deployment flow later. So because of that, I'm going to break my own standard here, and the main branch is going to go to staging, and then we'll do this branch driven. So whenever I want to go to production, I will have a prod branch, and every time I merge main to prod, that will invoke a production deployment. So just every time one of those two branches updates, that's what's going to trigger. And make sense?
So main to staging, and then
Yep.
you're going to how do you trigger the prod to production?
So glad you asked. I'll show you. So like we'll do it for staging, and then it will make sense for production. So in render, I've got two environments already set up here. Production has nothing in it. Staging has nothing in it. And then we're just going to create a new service. It's a web service. Okay, because it's just a app. I'm not going to worry about the static site because this is really not. It has like the backend and frontend component to this Next.js app. So we're just going to do web service. The nice thing is with render, when you log in with your Git credentials, it knows all of my repositories here. So I can just pick in-town plumbing front-end app, and it just populates it out. Going to go to staging, language node, branch main. So this is where you're telling render, you're saying pay attention to this branch. And every time this branch changes, you're going to redeploy that branch. So everything's just right here. npm install and run build is the build command, and then run start is the start command. That all looks good. I'm just going to go with the free tier for now. I am going to need a bunch of environment variables here, which I'm going to have to do off screen for a second because I'm going to put in all my integration stuff there. Give me a hot second. Going to go into my Gemini workspace, and what is this in-town plumbing app? Going to echo my .env and pb copy. It's pretty cool, actually. I'll show you this real quick on screen. So you can add from env, and then you take everything in your env file, paste it here, which is what I'll do now. Oh, not now. Hold on. I said echo. I need to cat env, and then pb copy. pb copy. And then paste. There's a bunch of stuff. And then I think I can show this. Yes, I can. So this is just the bottom of my env file. There's no secrets in this particular snippet here. As soon as I add the variables, everything's in here. Kind of just a nice little flow there. And I know that I don't need this particular environment variable anymore, so I'm going to delete that one. Blah, blah, blah. I don't care about advanced, just deploy. That easy. We'll see that go. We'll see if it works. I don't know. You are using a non-standard node env value in your environment. Yeah, because I think it's... let me see. So node env is supposed to be what? Development, test, or production. And instead of test, our node env is set to integration. Does it actually matter? No, it doesn't. It's not used anywhere in the code, so we can safely ignore that. Oh, we got an error. Good, good, good. Missing environment variable, service technician ID. Ain't no problem, bruv. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our main branch. I'm going to search for this. It is not used anywhere, so I'm just going to delete it there and here. Close everything else down. Quick little check. We removed that. Sure. Remove unused env var. And what should happen, so I pushed on main. All right. And if I go back to this little service here, you can see that this was our first deployment, and then it failed. And then as soon as I pushed, it's auto-deploying the latest commit, the chore to remove the unused var. Super simple. Were you on that project? You were. Remember when we did Quality and we were using Heroku?
Yep.
This is a lot easier than Heroku to use render.
Yeah, I use it for one of my projects. Seems very similar to Vercel.
Yeah. I think I ended up signing up for Render before I signed up for Vercel when I was dinking around with something a few months ago. And in hindsight, I probably would have just signed up for Vercel because it's actually, Vercel's a lot more robust than Render is. And it seems like it's just as easy to get some basic things running. It's probably more expensive, but I mean, you're talking like the tens of dollars range. So it's really not that big of a deal. Okay, let's see if we can be productive while this is going. So I will eventually need a Postgres database. This is true because create staging database to store booking. Okay, I'm going to remove this. I was trying to organize my tasks last night. So I'm not, as part of this task, I'm not going to worry about all that stuff, the Postgres database or deploying the app to production. Not yet. Because once I deploy to production, I'm going to want to be using the client's production ServiceTitan instance, and we're not ready for that yet. So, yay, another issue. Oh, come on. Just trying to pull technician ID from this other thing. Technician ID 27 files. No. I mean, I guess I'll just go back and look here. Services handler. So probably here. So I'm just going to see, what is it? Shift F12 tells you all the references to a field in your database. So I'm just going to spot check and look for anywhere else that it might be using technician ID, which should be nowhere. I mean, I guess I'm going to npm run build here first. Next build, npm run build. Okay, now it seems to work. Okay, that should work hopefully now. Again, we'll try to stay productive. Half an hour. Well, I probably won't get too far on this. Refactor Stripe to be embedded checkout. But we'll go ahead and try. So I'm going to do a little bit of branch stacking here because I'll collapse this all later. But if I git switch back to the invoice bug fix, I'm going to create a new branch off of that. I'm going to say feature embedded. Is that what we called it? Embedded Stripe checkout?
Yep.
And should we see if we can, how do we get the AI agent to one shot this, Simon?
I would use Claude Code, which I don't know if you have that set up, but you can do it.
I don't. Plus I got to pay for that, right?
I think so, yeah.
Is there an easy way I can not use it and just tell the cursor agent? Can I, how do, like, whatever I would have done with Claude Code, how do I do something similar with the agent here?
Yeah, so you'll want to provide it some context, like an example, which I can give you.
Let's see.
And then you just want to say you want to create a front end page. Just call it under the app. It'll be maybe a route called checkout. Checkout folder and then page in there, and then what was that? You still have that repo link? If not, I can send you
Repo link. Oh yeah,
that one
for
example project.
um
I
for
could
for
send
for the
you.
Next.js project.
Yeah, well, let me. Yeah, that one, or I can send you one of mine, which is similar.
Smilga.
Yeah.
Oh, so you gotta basically give it a whole design, is what you're saying, for the context.
Yeah, you can seed it with some information like, oh, this is what I want it to look like.
What if I
Forget
don't
what you
know?
need.
What if I don't care?
Then just go to the Stripe docs. Checkout page. Stripe
Embedded
forward
form.
slash Stripe React dash Stripe dash JS. So that's really all you need.
Stripe dash what?
Here, let me put it in the chat here. This is what you need.
Is this thing still failing? What the blazes? Oh no, it's deployed. Go find your chat. Chat. Bloy me. Oh, you're like giving it the code. Oh, I see. Hold up. This window's like being difficult. Here we go. Import.
And do you already have your API route set up for this?
No, that's what I'm trying to like.
Okay.
That's why I kind of want to just test the AI to say, because we have embedded checkout provider. Yeah.
You just have to give it an example.
Well, I want to say currently I'm using Stripe redirect to handle checkout process. That's correct. And that's mostly done in routes. Come in. Yep. Like, I guess it's contact step. So right here is where we're doing some of the success URL stuff here. In contact step, I'll like tag that in a second. I want to use Stripe embedded checkout to handle the process. Period. For example, using, and then I want to just say like this probably. Nope, stop it. Just that part. Using that and that. Refactor the flow in the video consultation form page to use the embedded checkout. What do you think? Something like that?
Yep. Yeah, that's good. And you'll need to have your API route set up. And I think you want your Stripe secret key.
Yeah. Use the Stripe secret info from the env file. Well, because I have a config or something. Where'd the config go? This one, because I already have the Stripe secret key here.
Okay. Yep. Perfect.
Because we're already.
And you can, when you you select that, like select all and do Command L, you can throw it into the chat, into the
Okay.
agent chat. Just say reference these files.
Right. And when you say we need the route set up, I'm thinking about, well, I guess that would just be another component here is the way I'm thinking about that.
Well, for the back end, so the front end is going to send a request. What it's under API, the folder API, which that API route, it looks like it's nested under app. And that's right. Okay.
It is, yeah.
So do you have something, a folder called payment?
Why do I need the backend route? If it's embedded, it still has to go through a backend route.
Are you gonna, well, you want to send a post request, right? With the payment?
Oh, because of the
Are you
Stripe
gonna-
key. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Use the Stripe checkout in the env file. Add a back. I'm just gonna say backend route to handle the checkout process. I don't. Well, backend route. Is the backend route's not? How would you say this? Add a backend route to what? What's the main purpose of adding in this backend route?
It's handling the post request to Stripe.
I'm gonna say the main goal is to avoid
You're gonna fetch, what is it? Fetch client secret.
rerecognized Stripe. Okay, let's try this. Yeah, I think this is good enough. And then I just want to add in like at all. It's not gonna let me do this. Okay, whatever. Just drag and drop stuff in here. Contact step. Refactor video consultation form page. I'm just gonna like add in this whole thing, this whole folder. Stripe tickets, env, bada boom, bada bang, bada bing. Okay. Do your worst. Simon, if this doesn't work, you're fired. What are you doing today, Kenan? How do you have time to be watching my stream? Are you still out there? Kenan's actually a very good friend of mine, for those who may not know. Let me stop.
You got one watching. Well, I guess that's me because I'm on the stream.
Thanks for your faithfulness.
Two watching.
I was gonna say my Streamlabs says 2 viewers, so I don't know.
Okay.
That's probably me and you watching ourselves.
Yeah.
Watching ourselves stream in code.
You got to start somewhere.
That's right. Create checkout return page that will handle post-checkout flow. We update types to include the new embedded thing. Let me create a new embedded checkout component that will replace the form submission. So much code. I mean, I'm honestly going to be a little bit disappointed if, how does that make sense? Sorry. Just realized.
Disappointed at what?
Sorry, I got distracted from the Streamlabs. I just realized it has 2 different timers. two different little tickers. One shows me how long I've been live for, an hour and 34 minutes. The other one says 26 minutes. Like, what? Is it recording? I think it's recording. Oh, there's some hotkey. Okay, sorry. Apparently, when I'm coding, there's some hotkey that will trigger my Streamlabs to start recording also. That's confusing. So I actually don't know when it's starting and stopping recording. Yeah, I guess install that.
Okay.
Sorry, what was your question? I was in the middle of a thought when I got distracted.
Oh, you said you're going to be disappointed at something, but
Oh yeah, I'm saying this is where AI is supposed to shine, meaning doing Stripe checkout is a problem that has been solved 1,000 times across 1,000 repositories, you know.
yeah,
Super publicly documented, right? Like this is where there should be 98% confidence that if I just tell AI, go add Stripe to my app, it should just work. It should just work. So I'm going to be disappointed if we get through all this and then I have to spend the next 2 hours like untangling bad code and fixing it. On 36. Let's see, confirm edit of example env. Why is it editing my example env? A little suspect. What you doing with my environment variables, bro?
also your component folder, I think I usually put that on the same level as the app. And then
Yeah.
inside the app is all the routes. So
Okay. Now let me add the Stripe publishable key to the environment variables. I guess. Oh, publishable. Oh, yeah. So probably going to need that on the back end too at some point. Yeah, you know, I guess I don't know if I'm too opinionated on this or not. I do tend to care a lot about how my repositories are laid out. And yes, go ahead and run that. Sorry. And I noticed in some of the other apps, it's like they'll have the pages, or like in this case, right? It's like we have this, what do we call this? This kind of like this major feature of the application. And we've got video consultation form, let's say. And underneath, like within that feature, I want, and you and I were talking about this, I think last time you were on, Simon, like all code that is relevant to that one flow I want located as close together as possible in my repository. And it seems like there's a lot of folks who will have a components directory that's out at the app level, but like they'll have 30 or 40 components that are really only used in this one feature of like video consultation form, let's say. But yet it's like out in another utils library as if it's going to be reused someday, and it never really will be. Right? Like there's obvious components like a button, right? Or like a table, or like all your standard things that are in your UI libraries. But that's kind of my point too, is like, sorry, it's fixing stuff. I got to keep building. I got to keep accepting it. That's kind of my point too, is like, if it's so generic that it's in the UI library, like why do we have a separate layer of components? Unless they're like higher order components, like you're doing like partial layouts and templates and stuff like that, right? I don't know. So am I wrong about this? Like it seems weird to me to have a components like separate from your routes when those components are only ever used within that route anyways.
yeah, let me see if I can find something for you that might make some sense. I actually got this from, there's a guy, Kyle from Web Dev Simplified. He talks about it. He has a video called "This Folder Structure Makes Me 100% More Productive." And it's like feature-based folder structure. So you could break it up into like folders with individual features, and then put in the components under that.
Okay. That sounds up my alley.
So
Breaking news: the podcast I was supposed to record in 12 minutes from now has just been rescheduled. Dude, it's this guy who is in the UK. I met him through some of my... Well, I met his co-founder. So his co-founder lives here in Dallas. I had him on the podcast. He's like the CEO, I guess. And then he referred me to his CTO, whose name is Jason. Jason lives in the UK. Jason was supposed to be on the podcast today. But he says, apologies for the last minute email. We've just had a power cut in our small town. So he's got no internet, no lights. And he's like, I could tether off my phone, but the bandwidth would be trash probably, right? So no podcast today, folks.
oh no.
I'll have to reschedule with him. Well, the good news is I have more time to code, which is probably what I need today anyways. Yeah, send me that thing whenever you have time and we'll check it out. Okay, I need my Stripe publishable key. Let me see if I can go grab that right quick.
I created a Notion document, so I'll put the link here.
Oh,
Maybe this
perfect.
will be helpful.
Okay. Stripe, product catalog, something. Sign in. This is all under my Gemini account. No, your account isn't set up. Oh, dear. Okay, maybe it's that one. Yeah, all good. Oh, Stripe verification code. Oh, yes, indeed. Let's see. Dude, my life changed when I got this little texty desktop app that connects to my phone. Come in. And just makes it so easy to text from my keyboard, you know? Simple things.
How is that different from the Messages app?
Because I have a Mac. I code on a Mac, but I have an Android phone. So it's not like a native. I had to install it separately.
Oh, gotcha.
I mean, it works just as well. Test mode, yes, good. Where do we want to...
Why do you have an Android phone if you have a Mac?
Because Mac is like... This is not as true anymore, but, 10 years ago, Mac was like the reliable Linux-based platform that you could code on. So I loved Linux. I loved coding on Linux. But you try to do anything on an Apple phone, and it's just incredibly locked down. You can't do anything custom on an Apple phone. Whereas an Android phone, it's like you just flip a switch, and you can build anything you want. It's more open source and everything. So, a little bit of a business in the front, party in the back thing, I guess. I need to go to... Think about this. I need to get my Stripe publishable key. Where do I get that from?
You got to go into the Stripe dashboard.
I'm there.
And
developers.
Let's see, where's that? Is there something called
payments more
developer or something?
There it is, way at the bottom. They hide it way at the bottom. That's what I was looking for.
API keys.
All right, I'm gonna do this off screen just in case. Yep, just gives me everything right there. Publishable key, copied. Okay. Come back here. Go over here. Publishable key. Okay, this again, I need to... I mean, I guess it's publishable, so it doesn't matter, but still, I want to be careful and not accidentally expose something. we're going to do that. And then we're going to say over here. Oh, wait, did I already just do this thing? Copy, paste, copy, paste. I'm so good at copying and pasting as a developer. Do that. Okay. Okay. Done. Required steps. Add that. Install dependencies already done. Files modified. I don't care. Accept all.
I think I might sign up for the Claude Max plan. Have you heard of that?
Claude Max. What is that? Just like, does it run your entire life?
Pretty much. Well, it's like more capacity. They have the $20 a month plan, but they also have the $100 a month, and you can use it with Claude Code and just more output.
Gotcha. Sorry, I've got two different, I got too many windows open here. I'm trying to consolidate real quick. You go over there, you come over here. Okay, I already had this one up over here. I love it when the CSS gets dorked. Okay, so we're just going to try this. So apparently we have a new Stripe checkout flow. Step 1, book the thing. Step 2, get an error. Very good. What's the error? Will you tell me the error? You will not. So I don't know what this error is. Undefined is not valid JSON. Hold on, let me just hard refresh. Try this again. See if I can duplicate it. Okay, it's duplicated, undefined. Real helpful. Real helpful. Parsing what? There's no real call stack here. This is not a legitimate call stack. Undefined server response. VM? What are you even talking about? I don't see any. Well, I see a 404 in DevTools. Hold on. Let me just do another. And build.
Is that example env? Is that you're not using that, right?
I am not using example env. That is correct. I have this .env. I just don't want to open it on the stream. I do see a modified file somewhere. Oh, that's this. Don't save. Run dev. I don't know why this would not be working here. Let me try to just close and restart. Uncaught promise. Frame ant? Like, what are we even talking about here? NextJs original something. I don't know. I'm going to ignore it for a second and see what happens next. So let's go to Monday again. Let's go to 8 a.m.
So it's from the form, right? Video consultation form.
What do you mean it's from the form, I guess?
That's where the error's coming from?
Yeah, I guess so. Video consultation form. But is that's just a directory?
There's
a page under there.
What's that folder being used for? There's nothing in that folder.
Well, so like app routes, video consultation form is where I have my base page and then like all the components for the whole checkout flow.
Oh, okay. All right. Just wondering why.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to ignore it for a second. So here's where previously, it would redirect me all the way out to Stripe and back. Let's see what happens next. Submit. Still on the front end here. Very good. I got this little embedded thing. Test mode. Very good. Confirm it's you. Here's the thing. Let's actually, I'm going to scale this back out a little bit. So this is what it would normally look like. A little harder to see, but it's all embedded. Back to contact info. Good. Selected stuff. Good. Pay up. Pay up. So, oh, it's still... Okay, well, this is okay because it just has the session ID, I believe. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Because appointment confirmed. This actually looks nicer too. Thanks. You will receive an email shortly with appointment details. Dude, awesome. It seems like it actually worked.
And it showed up in your Stripe. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I can go look at, let's go back to where would that have been before?
Yeah, it probably did. Otherwise, you wouldn't get the success.
Right. And I got the session ID returned. What was that for? That was for Monday, right? I got to go forward a day or forward the week. Yeah, 8:30. I guess I did 8 to 8:30. Sweet. I mean, I get this weird error down here. I don't know what's going on with that, so it's not like perfect. It did make a lot of changes, which I'm almost wondering if we need to go line by line with those changes. But one other thing that I expected to happen. So the reason we did this, just to remind myself and anybody listening, is because in the contact step before, when we did the submit, we would create a big old long redirect string. And in that redirect string, we were embedding all the important information like name, email, phone, etc. So I had to like shoot all that out to Stripe and then back. Now, since we're never leaving our app, all of this stuff, like where's this go? This form data here, where's this going? Form data is loading, handle callback. Handle submit says is loading true, blah, blah, blah. Alert, set current step to checkout. So it's not, okay, move to embedded checkout step. So it's just going to set the next step in the flow. It's not going to shoot off to Stripe. And this form data, which is all filled out here, where did it go? Right here. All this form data. This should be part of our ZooStand state somehow, some way. Right here. Use form state, use form store. Use form store is ZooStand state. So ZooStand gets updated with all the form information. We then just move it to the embedded Stripe embedded checkout step, which is still using the form data. And it should never call any kind of redirect. It does the backend fetch to pass everything to the backend, which is fine. Set client secret. And then it sets the next current step to contact. Handle back click. Sorry. Where's my handle? Where's my handle forward click? If error is loading, that's the form. Format time selected, embedded checkout. Wait, where did it go? This here. Fetch client secret. Oh, interesting. When does it decide to invoke that? Use effect, fetch client secret. Use callback. Select a technician job type. Like, how does it know that I've paid Stripe? Sorry, what I'm trying to figure out is Stripe's, the embedded checkout's loaded in the page.
Let's see.
Selected technician, selected job type, form data. Is that what this is? Response? We get the response, the data, set client secret. Client secret. If it's loading or we don't have a client secret, it shows this whole form layout. The form layout here says preparing your checkout. Otherwise, it gives all of this. Back info, checkout. Then we just have this checkout, embedded checkout provider, Stripe, options, whatever, embedded checkout.
That looks right. What does it look like on the route, under the API route?
It was just, let's do this again real quick. Just go here, it doesn't matter, next. Here it still just has video consultation form because it's a multi-step form. So all these components, they don't have subroutes or anything. It's all under the top level page route, which is this one here. So embedded checkout step is just a step.
Okay, that's your checkout form.
So I'm like, how does it know after I've paid here? That's what I'm a little bit.
Well, the backend route shouldn't it return a response?
Should I ask? I should just ask.
There should be a, well, there's another route that you can create called confirm. That's probably what you may want.
I mean, it's working, to be clear. There's not a bug here, right? Like
Okay.
when I did it the first time and I hit pay, like it paid, it moved me to the final confirmation thing. It booked, everything worked. I'm just going back now to see the code that AI wrote me. And I'm saying, okay, the code that AI wrote me, I want to understand that code a little bit. How is that code actually functioning after a successful checkout? How does it know to progress to the next and final confirmation step of that multi-step form?
Do you get a checkout ID, a checkout session ID? I think that is part of the process.
I mean, eventually I do, but how do I get it, right? So let's see if Cursor can help me. So great question. Looking at the current implementation, the embedded checkout step component actually doesn't detect payment completion itself. Instead, it relies on Stripe's automatic redirect mechanism. Let me explain how this works and show you a better approach. It thinks I'm criticizing it or something. The current flow redirect. Okay, dude, I've seen this before. Look at this, Simon.
Okay.
Wait. No, sorry. This is not what I've seen before. There was one time I was asking it questions and it was looking at a previous Git commit. So it was referencing code that no longer existed. So like the context wasn't updating. But I thought that's maybe what was happening here, but it doesn't look like it actually. API create checkout. Oh, I see what. I think you were trying to say this. So I think it's saying that when it makes this backend call here, when it does the create checkout session, is this what you were trying to tell me?
Yeah, what route is that? That's under...
It's under API, create checkout session route. So here, this is on the back end handling the Stripe checkout session. So it creates, the UI mode is embed. Payment method types, card, line items. It's got the right price ID, the payment, and then it's got the return URL. Video consultation form checkout with return with the session ID. That's interesting.
What's in your checkout return route? Is there anything there?
There is no checkout return route. It's just checkout status, checkout session.
No, under, was it? Oh, I thought it said API.
Sorry. It's under, so that's under app. App does have a checkout return page, which this was the final console confirmation page. Oh, interesting. So it's redirecting to this new page. Man, I guess I don't know if this gave me the result that I wanted then, because the question is on this checkout return page content. Is this true? Let me think about this. If I go back to here, consultation form, actually, I don't want to, even though it's integration data, I still don't want to just trash it too much if I don't have to. So what I'm going to do is okay, to your point, this is going to return us to a new indifferent page, app checkout return page. This form date time processing payment. Wait a minute, sorry, hold on. Okay, sorry, I didn't realize this. This actually changed. No, it didn't. So step 1, select your service type. Step 2, select your time. Step 3, put in your information. And this was kind of the sticking point from before. I've collected all this. I don't want to redirect away. All that information I just put in, that's in ZooStand. I don't want to redirect away to another domain where I lose that ZooStand state. But after the Stripe completes, it is routing me back to this checkout return page. And that's where, either the front end page or the back end, I guess I don't really care where it happens, but it's just after I know that they've paid, that's where I would want to go in and finalize all that booking information and make all the API calls to ServiceTitan. So really, I'm realizing this is not necessarily how we have to do this, because now that some of that is happening on the back end, I guess I could theoretically capture this information separately. But anyways, I'm going to stop my brain from getting on that road. I'm just going to go and say, use the form store. There should be form data in here. Form data. This form data should be persisted, as it were. It should still be available after that Stripe checkout, after the redirect. I should have all my form data available so that when I land on this page, I guess, I don't know if it's doing it or not, but it is doing this fetch here. It says checkout status. Is that the only fetch that it's doing? Checkout return, checkout status. What the heck? Okay, so here's checkout status, where it has the session ID, I guess. It gets the session ID. It ensures that it's been paid.
Yeah. This is your confirmation page.
Yeah. Oh, and then it used the session metadata, and that's what has all the name, email, phone, start time, end time, technician. So this is actually, how do we feel about this, Simon? So my goal was to not have everything go to Stripe. I mean, I guess specifically my goal was I didn't like the long query string, the long redirect query string that we were using before, but effectively this is the same thing. Like this doesn't, like effectively the architecture here is unchanged. It's just like the implementation has changed a little bit. So we're still making a request to Stripe. And when we make that request to Stripe, we're populating a bunch of metadata. So oh, look at that. It wrote a document for me.
Oh.
Did you know this? Look at this. It wrote a document. Embedded Stripe checkout implementation. Oh, we could have just read this. Video consultation form now uses Stripe embedded checkout. API routes. Create checkout session. Blah, blah, blah. For Stripe session, instead of redirect URL, stores all data in the session metadata. This is the part that I'm not sure how I feel about. It stores all form data in the session metadata. Do we like that or do we not?
Do you need it?
I don't know. I haven't built, to me, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense necessarily. It feels like I'm using Stripe as a form of, like persistence, like saving off information to Stripe, which can make sense in certain, if we're talking about transaction details, like a trace ID or like a unique identifier or something, or logging or auditability things, sure. But if we're talking about like, I purchased a product and now I have, like contact information, user contact information, like on the transaction itself, the Stripe transaction, if anything, I would maybe store like the user ID who bought that item. I would not actually store the user name, the user address, the user zip code, you know what I'm saying? Unless I'm not talking crazy.
No, I'm just looking at the implementation that I've used. There's session on the payment route. We create what is stripe.checkout.sessions.create. And there is a metadata property. Does it return all that data that you're talking about?
So your implementation is not packing a bunch of info into the metadata? Is that what you said? Okay.
No. It would just be like an ID or something if you need. Like
Yeah.
I would say like an appointment ID would be probably maybe that you would use.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because are you...
Watermelon slushy, Kenan. My daughter made it. Sorry, go ahead, Simon.
No. I was just thinking out loud.
Yeah. I'm like, look at like how much code did this thing just write me, right? Just wrote like, wait, how do I do show me how many changed lines in the staged git code, whatever.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit overeager.
Like it's 710 insertions, 12 files changed, 39 deletions, and it, like, architecturally it didn't change anything. It just rewrote it. I'm sure it's probably better by some measures. I'm sure it's better code by some measures, but it's not really doing what I was hoping for it to do. So I almost feel like that was a lot of work, but I almost feel like this is where I'm glad I'm on a separate branch, because I would just undo all this. I would just revert and I would say, okay, try again. But this time I would be explicit about, you know, hey, I'm trying to keep everything in, you know, ZooStan state in the front end or whatever.
There's a couple of additional prompts that I give it sometimes. I'll put that in the chat. One of them's implement the fix or solution or improvement using the fewest lines of code possible.
Mm-hmm.
So something like this.
Yeah, I feel like for the sake of science, I need to... For science! You guys ready? Okay. I'm going to revert all this code. Reset. Git. What is it? Checkout. Dot. And what is it? Clean. Remove all untracked files. Get clean FD. Oh boy. That was a lot. Come here. Okay. Let's try this again. I'm going to try this a little bit differently. So the important thing is here. I just don't want this. I don't want this big success URL. Number one, ugly. Number two, it's using Stripe as a data cache, which seems unnecessary.
Oh, wow. I didn't see that.
Yeah. This was the previous approach. It's just this gigantic redirect URL, which you can't see here, but that's how we're using it. Because it all gets embedded. So I don't want this. I want the embedded checkout, but I want it in a way to just redirect me to the next step of the and I don't know if this is, again, I don't even know if this is reasonable. So I want to use ZooStan. And if I can't do that, I guess that would be nice if the AI would just tell me like, hey, what you're trying to do is not possible. And instead, you should bring in a database, which would be the classic approach, and just like store intermediate data in a database of like a booking request. This is how we'd normally do it, like back at Avail. It's like if a user has an intent, like they're starting to go through the booking process, but they're not finished yet, you would create a temporary object like a booking request, which is not yet finished. Or like a booking intent. I intend to make a booking, so you're starting to collect the information, but you haven't actually submitted it to be a booking yet, to go create a booking. So if Stripe can't do what I want it to do here, I'm sorry, ZooStan and Stripe and this whole interaction flow, then I may just have to go create a database table and start capturing stuff. But let's try this one more time. So, plus I got some extra time with the reschedule that happened. Implement the fix. Okay, so let's do...
Do you need to save anything to the database?
Well,
or
right.
You just need to
Elaborate. What do you mean?
When you go through the checkout process, is anything getting saved to the database, or you're just getting a Stripe
Right.
confirmation, and the booking is being handled by the other service?
We don't have a database currently. There is no database in this app yet, because it's just a booking form, and it just goes and creates a bunch of bookings in the ServiceTitan database. But our app does not have a database yet. So it's really just sending any information that we need. It sends that to Stripe for Stripe to basically cache it for a second until the Stripe checkout completes. And then when Stripe responds with the redirect URL, all the information we need is in the parameters of that redirect URL. So we're kind of circumventing a database right now. Oh yeah, that's the success URL here. That's the thing we're doing. I do not want to save. I do not want to need to save all the form data in the success URL in context step, like I'm currently doing. This is ask. I want to go to the agent actually. Save all this, copy just in case. Go over here. Okay. I want to use Stripe's embedded checkout features to stay on the same page, to the same form throughout the flow, so that when the Stripe checkout session completes, I can then use the data in Zoostan to submit the booking request. Go back to...
Yeah, I think I have a process I think would work.
Implement the fix in the simplest, most efficient way possible using the fewest lines of code. When you say a process, you mean a prompt or like actual code pattern?
Actual code,
Okay.
yeah. So I think you want to, right now you have a payment, or whatever, it's checkout, and then you need another route, which I call it confirm, and I think you have it as, what is it?
Confirmation
Checkout,
step?
confirmation status. Well, see, this is what's confusing. You have it, you're using, what you're working in is components, and what I'm talking about is API routes.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, we have those too. I think, so previously, to give you that full picture real quick, so...
Yeah.
Not services.
It's kind of confusing because you have it organized in a different way. And
Agree. See, this is why I care so much about the freaking folder structures, man. It needs to be immediately clear where things are happening. This is like this is your guide to life right here, this folder structure, you know? Yeah, I'm trying to show you, was it here?
yeah, where's the checkout route? Where's the payment route?
It's right here. So it's under API book route.
Okay.
This is where we were doing the create Stripe session.
Okay. So within the try catch block, is there when you see mode, is there mode payment?
Mm-hmm.
Where's that? Okay, mode payment. And then you have a return URL in there somewhere?
So success URL is what this is using instead of return.
Okay. And then it's sending a response. Where does it send the... Okay. In the return URL, which...
That's right
is what
here. Session.url. So session.url.
Okay. And then body success URL, what is that?
Where do you see that?
Body success, line 32.
Right here.
Under success URL. What is the success URL?
Oh, yeah. This is getting passed from the front end. So this success URL, that's what we were looking at just a second ago. That would have been not confirmation step. That would have been contact step. This file's been modified now, so it'll be a little bit harder to see. But that's this right here. That super long URL we were looking at a second ago.
Okay, you don't need that though, right?
Well, that's what I'm trying to get rid of. We needed that before because we were redirecting the user to Stripe on a separate domain. And then they would get redirected back to our domain.
Okay, so you can define that on the back end. So create a constant called origin. What is it? Request headers dot get origin. And then in your payment route, you just want to return URL. And then what I have implemented is create another route called confirm. It pulls off the session ID. So the session ID.
But
And then you could redirect on that confirm route. You can redirect to your next front end route. That makes sense. Let me, I need to go take a
yeah, you're good.
break real quick, and I'll be right back.
Still doing its thing. Yeah, the thing I'm not clear about though is I should just ask ChatGPT this. I don't know why I'm not doing that. No more building long URLs, Stripe redirects taken away from the app, complex returning, blah, 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 blah. Just accept all. Back to this rigmarole. I should still have my env file itself was never edited, so I should still have the publishable key. Yes, I do. Okay, let's look at this code here. Still a bit of code, but context step now. Goes to checkout. So checkout we still do the fetch checkout session, then response.json, set the secret client stuffs. How it works, user fills out contact infos, click submit, form validates and navigates to checkout, embedded checkout loads, payment completes, on complete, callback fires. Callback uses ZooStand data. Create job appointment handlers. Let me talk about that. What we talk about? Here we go. I like this. So embedded checkout provider has an on-complete handler. When that on-complete handler is called, then it creates the job appointment handler and it's using the form data from ZooStand. This looks like what I wanted. So let's test it. I think you're right, Simon. I think the thing, because I think what you were suggesting before you walked away was similar to, what the blazes? I gotta restart this, hold on. Was similar to how AI solved it the first time. The thing I'm not clear about is whether or not it would avoid sending the metadata to Stripe. Whereas this now, I'm pretty confident, I haven't looked at the code exactly, but I'm pretty confident this is not sending any of that metadata to Stripe like it was before. Because in the first iteration, it was sending the data to Stripe through this success URL. In the second version, it was sending the metadata to Stripe through the Stripe metadata object. But now finally in the third, it's not sending anything to Stripe. Stripe is doing the callback that you're talking about. So if we go to create checkout session, again, I haven't looked at this code, so I'm kind of assuming here. So here, session create, UI mode embedded, payment types card, whatever, mode payment, line items. Like that's it. That's all it's doing with Stripe.
Yeah.
And then it just returns. And I suppose the magic here is in the embedded checkout and the embedded checkout provider, because this is basically going to sit there, theoretically, until the user completes that payment. Once the user completes the payment, it just calls the handle complete callback. So like nothing ever leaves the app. And here, when I'm actually making this function call to create job appointment handler, this is passing in all my ZooStand data, ZooStand state data, name, email, phone. This is not coming from Stripe. Before, even in that second iteration, it was like pulling the Stripe transaction information and pulling this information from the metadata. Come on, bruv. Here we go. Oh, missing environment variable, node env. That's not even a thing. What are you even talking about? Hold on. Node env. I do in fact have a node env. So why are you tripping? env.ts, env.ts, node env.
We lost our viewers.
Womp womp. Nobody cares. Node env. This is weird. How come it didn't pick it up? Environments, env. Get env var. What are you talking about? Hold on.
I need to start doing that with the wrapping the env.
Oh yeah.
Some
Video consultation. I'm actually surprised there's not like a super standardized library for it yet. Well, you know why? Because it's actually not worth. It's not a problem worth solving. Like you could just use those validation libraries like Joy or whatever. There's some of those off-the-shelf validation libraries that you can just use to create a schema, and it will basically do the same thing here. It's like what we're doing by hand here, you could do with just a schema validator, essentially. Dev. What's up? What's up, Mintu? We are making a video consultation app. So I work for a client. They're a plumbing company. If you have a faucet leak, you have to call the plumber, and he charges you a buttload of money to come out to your house. Why can't you just jump on a FaceTime? Why can't you do a 15-minute consultation on a FaceTime? Maybe he can help you fix it real quick. So there's a client of mine who wants that kind of an app, and so we're building it for him. And I just decided to stream the whole process. Well, not the whole process, but a lot of it. And Simon's my homeboy who's helping me. And why is this not working now?
I'm helping you unclog toilets.
Unclog toilets. One emergency call at a time. Dude, I'm still... What is going on? Why is it saying missing node env? I mean, I guess I need to put a breakpoint here and debug this piece of junk. Environments. It is like I'm not bringing up my my env file because I have secrets in there, but like this same line is in that file. I guess you got to trust me on that. I'm looking at it on my other screen.
Is it a string
It's a string.
integration?
Node env equals integration. I mean, it's just a regular. It's exactly what you see here.
Yeah.
Just a regular guy. Wait a minute. This is showing up in the front end. There's a bigger problem here. Warning. Hold on. The above occurred in server root. Consider adding error boundary. There was an error hydrating because error is outside a suspense boundary. If this is in the front end, it means that the front end is trying to require this env file, which is no bueno.
Oh, should that be a... I'm wondering if this is a NextJs problem.
Where is it requiring? Go ahead, sorry. Hold on.
No, you know how you can add the use client or use server
Mhm.
directives at the top. Is it
Oh, did the agent not do that for one of these? So by default, it's use client or use server.
no, server? Yeah, those are supposed to be, those API routes are supposed to be those are supposed to be server components.
But okay, but use server is also the default, right? Just to be super
I
clear.
believe so. Yeah.
Okay. So like use form would be on the client side, page would be on the client side, client. Like all that should be correct.
Anything that needs
Diffs.
interaction with the browser.
Right. So I do the get. Okay. I'm seeing maybe part of the problem here. Okay, so I just did a get diff so I can see all the changes that AI just did. I searched for .env, and I do see on the embedded checkout step here. I don't know if you can see this okay. My code down there.
Yeah.
But it's doing process.env for the publishable key. Not sure that's actually correct. But let's see if it happens anywhere else. So there's another file here, create checkout session route, which is requiring lib config env.stripe.secret key. Like that should be correct. This should not be part of the problem.
Wait, create.
env. Got some more env stuff.
I wonder.
I feel like it's.
So on your, do you have new Stripe at the top? Do you have something that says new Stripe and then in parentheses process.env Stripe secret key?
So under app API book, that's what I have. And under app API create checkout session, that's what I have.
So
Everyone do same normal commerce website or common projects. No developer is really thinking about solving real problems. No one wants to work on real problems. I agree, Mintu. I agree that even in the US, I think there's a lot of developers that are, most people solve the same common problems, I would say. Even just recently, Simon and I were like off. We didn't talk for like 2 weeks or something. We both came back and we're like, guess what I built? A RAG chatbot. And I was like, dude, guess what I built? A RAG chatbot. like everybody's building the same thing all the time. I mean, this is actually for a client, right? So they have like a very specific need. They know their own problems really well, which is why it makes sense. Like I didn't come up with this idea, right? They did. And so working for other people in niche industries, understanding their problems and building, that's where you're going to find more unique things to solve. Yeah, did you have a thought on this, Simon, as far as...
Yeah, well, I mean, you're using your, what is it, env.
Yeah.
.stripe. You're not using process.env. I've done it a little bit different.
What is this? Hold on, I just realized there might be a hint in the stack trace.
That might be, yeah. I think it's a problem with the Stripe
Pages
using the env file, maybe.
App API services service.ts handler video consultation components embedded checkout step. Okay, hold on. Embedded checkout step right here. You see this? Embedded checkout step is using the handler here.
Okay.
Okay, so our little code snippet, our little AI instructions have backfired. So, surprise, surprise, right? We told AI, implement the fix in the simplest and most efficient way possible, using the fewest lines of code. and AI said, look, when I'm going to do a backend API request, instead of going through a route to make the API request, I'm just going to require the handler directly into the front end. So it went to services handler, which is a server-side chunk of code, to create the job appointment handler here, is what I'm assuming it's doing. Let's go back. Create job appointment handler. Do you see that? So,
so you didn't need, we don't need that, right?
well, we need it, but not like this. Because down here, when it's doing this create appointment handler, this needs to be use API book route. It needs to be this. It needs to do
Okay.
an actual HTTP call.
Okay.
But our instructions made it think that it should just require that component directly, and then it threw out the window all of the NextJS best practices for for coding, right? And it just required the server-side. What do you call this? I don't know is it a component? Whatever, the server-side file handler into the front end, and that's why it threw an error on that env config, because that, which thankfully it did, because if in some strange world this worked, that would have been loading all of our environment file secrets, and it would have been shipping them to the front end. That would have been a security issue.
Yeah.
Possibly. Thankfully, Next.js stopped us from doing that.
Yeah, gotta be careful with these, with context and everything.
Yeah. And I'm kind of suspect that, I just realized, is this going to work? Yeah, that should, because that's a next public thing. Okay, so I'm not sure if this will work. I'm thinking this is the right API call. No, that's not even the right API call. Sorry. Again, my folder structure's pretty crappy, so it's a little bit confusing. It should be going to API job, because job is where, I believe, yeah, we create job appointment handler. Okay, right there, proper import. 237. I'm trying to get better at saving off useful timestamps that I think would make clips later. Okay, back to the browser. They should at least load this time. Yay. And we're going to say backflow services. SU Mintu, just a second, I'll get to your question. Got to keep my train of thought here. One tech available at 4 o'clock. Going to say next. Ooh, I still have one error here. Still not sure what that error is coming from. Going to go there. Going to submit. And here again, the main thing I'm looking for is that I don't want to redirect to external Stripe. I want to use an embedded Stripe checkout, and I want to make sure that it's oh, big old problem. Ooh, okay. Time for my error handler to be maybe useful. Embedded checkout API Stripe invalid request error. Sessions with UI mode embed utilize redirects and require a return URL. Please specify a return URL or disable redirects by passing redirect on completion. Never?
Yeah, the return URL would be part of that payment route, and that's where you would send, would you define that API / confirm, or in this your case, I think it's what is it?
Yeah, what is it?
Yeah, I don't know if you have that.
Well, it should be redirecting to confirmation step. So after,
yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have that in your backend route.
No, correct. Okay, let's try this. Getting the error. As soon as I fire this off, Mintu, I'll get to your question.
Oh, what's the question?
route right here. Make sure it has that context. Page. I don't really need that. I don't need that. Checkout step. I'm going to give you this for context and confirmation step. Make sure I get to the confirmation step and can... Wait a minute, this is weird too. Hold up. Handle complete. Set current step confirmation. Once I go to confirmation, that's going to do the proper fetch there. Okay, sorry, I'm like realizing we actually have a couple different little issues here. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it this. Make sure the confirmation, make sure the app will redirect, will load the next step of confirmation on successful Stripe checkout. All right. Freelancer, do I have a job? Full-time. At this point, I would say part-time freelancer. Still looking to fill up my hours with full-time work, but this particular project we're working right now, this is a part-time gig, and hoping to hear back. Actually, I'm supposed to hear back from somebody today. He said maybe today about a second part-time gig. So then I would be full-time.
Nice.
Let's see. Added redirect on completion never to the Stripe session to prevent redirects. Restored booking creation and on complete. Something. Review changes. Yes. Let's review all the changes here. So 12 files changed. Why? This is not what I want. Hold on. Apply. So it applies first. Nope, it just did the whole apply. Okay, well, thanks. Added this line. I'm just going to do the whole thing. Add booking creation back to checkout step. Create booking after successful payment. Yeah, that actually makes sense as I think about it. Even though the flow is a little different. Update confirmation step to use Zoostan data. So then what is this? This is confirmation step. Start over the form. Okay, this looks fine to me. It moves some logic around under us, but I'm okay with it. Apply.
Oh, I think I lost the screen.
Is it not sharing anymore?
No.
Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Oh man, how did I do this before? Wait, are you still there? Oh, you froze too on the...
I'm here.
Okay, I'll get your head back in a second. Your head is small on the stream now because the thing changed. What was I saying? Yes, this is fine by me. Go ahead and apply that. And then this. No changes made. What are you talking about? Confirmation step. Is this not confirmation step? Confirmation step. Contact confirmation. This thing's tripping, man.
The confirmation is a route on the back end under API, but you could, and then you could redirect it. You can add the redirect there. Just check out the
No,
example.
look at,
repo.
hold on. So right here, it says number 3, update confirmation step to use ZooStan data, right? So it's telling me that I need to update confirmation step.tsx. You see that? Then right here, you see this?
Okay.
The file that it's showing, or the file name that it's showing right here, says embedded checkout step.
Oh, that's because you have that one open. You have that selected. But if you go to your other confirmation step, it'll change. It should change once you.
It's not changing.
Yeah. Well, did you apply the changes by accident to the other file?
Oh, is that what it did? Oh, are you serial? Hold up.
Yeah.
Can I reapply then? Reapply? Nope, that still didn't work.
You just copy and paste it, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that was my point, is that
It can sometimes get
getting
funky
screwed
where
up.
it doesn't really. Sometimes if you have a huge context window, I think maybe it.
Yeah, it broke on me. Because now it wanted to rewrite this file, which is actually, again, I'm fine with this rewrite that it's doing, I think, but now I'm like a little bit nervous because I'm like, oh man, are you screwing me over here? What's going on? Start over, return to home, book another. A little nervous, but I'm going to trust in the Lord with all my heart. We'll see what this looks like. Oh man, I'm nervous, you guys. I'm super nervous right now. No changes made. Because it was trying to change this one here too. It was trying to change whatever this was. Checkout session route. Just nervous all around. Checkout session route was supposed to have changed. I don't need this.
That still needs a return URL on there.
Well, it's taking a different approach here. Actually, it's saying redirect on completion never. I don't know. I'm not claiming to know what it's trying to do here, but it's doing, and I'm gonna let it do the redirect on completion. The redirect on completion never. Let's see what happens if I do that. Because I think what it's trying to do is it's trying to stop. Basically, it's telling Stripe, you don't have to redirect. The front end app, I'm going to manage the redirects. So let's do this. Let's pick a date. This, that, dummy data, checkout, Stripe checkout, all in the same form here. Good. Noah says, killing it, Dan. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. You're killing it. No, you're killing it. Let's see. Mintu says, I'm really impressed by your coding skills. Intermediate. I'm an intermediate. You can say, would you mind if I want your mentorship? I don't mind if you want it. You can want it all you want. I have too many people I'm already mentoring, let's just say. 6 small people in my house. Sorry, I don't have time for more at this point. Okay, this worked. Booking confirmed. It's got all my details here. Oh, look at that. Do you see that? Do you see that, Simon? Wow.
Nice.
Wow. Okay, and I like this a lot. This is what I wanted. This is what I wanted from day one. Confirmation step is not actually booking anything. It's just pulling data out of the store. Embedded checkout also is using the store in order to create actually does 2 things, right? So a quick little recap here. This file might be a little busy, but it creates the embedded checkout, the Stripe embedded checkout widget using the provider and the checkout here. And then it just has this nice little function, handle complete. So
Okay.
Stripe is handling all that. Stripe's going to make sure that the payment was valid and it went through. And when it's done, this provider is going to just make the call back into our app. So I don't have to manage redirects. I don't have to be passing data to Stripe. It just comes right back to me in the app. When it's complete, when the user has successfully paid, then right in the same component, we go ahead and create the booking or create the job. So all that works as desired, straight from the zoo stand. And then it does this, it does that. It sets the current step to confirmation. So it just moves you on to the next step, shows you the confirmation data right here. Bada boom, bada bang. I can return to home. And it probably, confirmation step, probably clears out the zoo stand data at some point. I'm not sure when or how that happens, but I'm not concerned about it. Sweet.
Cool.
Man, that was
Fun.
that was fun. Fun is one word for it. I'm happy it's working. I'm a grateful human. Let's see. So funny, man. Even the prompts, no matter how you prompt it, that prompt can be taken the wrong way. It's like I'm in one political party and GPT's in the other one, and no matter what I say, GPT will find a way to take it out of context.
I've heard working with AI is like supposedly people say it's like a junior dev, so you have to be super clear about what you tell it and give it specific instructions. It's getting better, but you almost have to confine it to like a certain small task and not leave things open to interpretation.
Yeah. Well, and this is why I keep saying that Mintu's out there saying he's an intermediate engineer, and it's like, it's good to know how to code, but it is so much more important to know design patterns, system design, everything in that realm, because I feel like how long did that take us just now, Simon? That took us probably close to an hour, right? To do this Stripe checkout the way that I wanted to do it, because I wanted, things in zoo stand. I wanted this certain flow. And we were kind of testing out AI here to see if it would give me what I wanted. And in the end of the day, it's like you're saying right now, Simon, it would have been a lot quicker for me to just tell AI, put this thing in this component, put this other thing in this other component, right? And if I had just specifically told it, here's the design I want you to follow, it would have gotten there a lot quicker. That's kind of what we did at the end, in fact.
Yeah.
Because we prompted this. Go ahead.
I'll go ahead. I was just going to mention setting up a spec, like creating a spec, because it seems like we were kind of just coding on the fly, which
Right.
I like to do too, just like figure it out as you go. But if you have a clear idea of how to design it first, I think that helps a lot.
Yeah. Actually, I guess I will say feature. Yeah, and I think every time I hear you say spec, I think of two things. There's a requirement spec, like what functionality am I trying to achieve? And then there's a design spec, like what technology choices or what, how do we want the folders to be laid out? So there's kind of like both specs that have to be accounted for.
Yeah, it would be cool to see what that for your next feature, like how that would look in Markdown, and you could create a spec that includes all those, and then just get AI to follow it.
Yeah, good point. Okay, so we were keeping busy with the Stripe embedded checkout. We had deployed to staging. It did finally work, meaning we have a green check mark on deploy. We've not actually looked at it yet. Should we go look at it? Let's go look at it. HTTPS intown-plumbing-fee-app on render.com. Okay, it's warming up. It's warming up because I have the free version because I'm cheap, and it will shut it down. So it's going to boot my app real quick.
Oh man,
Dude, I started the day hoping I could get to this whole list right here. I've completed one. Well, okay, maybe technically two things out of my list. Story of my life, man.
Get Claude Code.
I know it's this conundrum though, right? It's the conundrum of sharpening your axe or actually chopping the tree.
Yeah. Takes a little bit of time to set up, but
Right.
I just with the rag stuff, it was able to get that moving pretty quickly.
Can I? Sorry, I'm still trying. I just realized you're small again. I was gonna try to fix that real quick.
It's all good. I probably got to hop off here pretty soon, anyways.
Unpin. There we go. It's unpinned. Let's see. I should check my schedule. Am I supposed to be doing something right now? Nope. I'm good. Okay, so sweet. This is actually out. This is alive. I guess you guys can go play with it. Please don't destroy my integration environment. I'm not sure if this is going to work all the way through because that's going to assume that my environment variables were set up correctly. They might not be. Next. Here's my name. Here's my password. It's not my password.
Your cell phone number.
Okay, so this is using main, the main branch. So this is, I guess I'll just do it. Let's just go all the way through. And my email, if anybody wants to give me work, booking failed to confirm the job. Yeah, I'm not too worried about that. I guess we should go debug this. Let's see if we get logs. Okay, this is using the old virtual service is not found. So we solved this issue on the bug branch. It's not pushed out there yet. So I'm going to very quickly, I'm going to do this all locally since it's just me on this project. We've got a couple of branches here that we've been working off today. I've got the bug, the invoice not updating. That's what we just saw. And we've been working on this feature for a minute. So I'm going to go back to main. I'm going to git merge first the bug branch. Yep, sir, good, whatever. And then I'm going to, because I did the feature or the branch stacking. So I created off of main, we created a bug branch. Off of that bug branch, I created the feature branch. So everything should be collapsible back down to main in that order. So I just merged bug into main. Now I'm going to merge feature into main. It should not give me any problems because Git is amazing. 4 commits, push all that up. Watch it redeploy. Call that done. Cool. So this is the latest commit where we did the feature. New commit via auto deploy. It's deploying. We'll give it a second and then we'll check back. And then I got to do the next one, but we've been going for 3 hours now since the beginning. So I probably won't stream I'm going to continue to work on it because I need to get some more stuff done today, but turn off the stream and crank the classic rock or something as soon as I know this works. Any other wrap-up thoughts, Simone?
Nope. Yeah, no, I think it was good. I think trying the spec out, creating the spec to begin with might be a good idea. Just setting it up with just requirements and folder structure, that kind of thing would probably be helpful if you're going to use AI in the future. That's worked for me.
Yeah, I wonder if, you're getting pretty familiar with what we're doing here now. Well, actually, so it's going to be, I'll probably work on this more in the after hours over the next few days, but as of Wednesday, well, really, it's like next week I'm going to a conference. Monday, Tuesday, I'm going to be preparing for that conference pretty hardcore, and then going to the conference Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I'm pretty much going to be gone all next week. But when I return, and if you're still wanting to join, Simon, I'm thinking about what's the next thing? Let's go back to our. So booking form is what we've been working on. This is kind of my feature roadmap here. So we've been working on the booking form this whole time, of course. This looks big, but it's really not, because Whereby is just a video platform and we're just going to be making API calls to it. We're not actually doing any like WebRTC or anything fancy. So there's work to be done there, but I don't think it's going to be big feature work. Text notifications. That might actually be some feature work. So because I do need to create a database in order to track on my end the bookings that have been created, because then I will want to have some kind of monitoring service, some kind of like cron job that is saying, hey, you know, when a booking is supposed to start, basically send a text message out to that person to say, hey, sorry, not a booking. When a consultation meeting is supposed to start, I want to send a text message that says, like, your meeting is starting now. Here's the link to join, right? Make that event driven. I'm not sure exactly what that looks like, but there'll be some application logic. So I think that might be a good time for us to kind of sit down and say, okay, is there an easy way to write out that spec of the functionality that we want, the design choices we want, and see if the agent can get this closer on the first try instead of having to prompt it 3 different times like we did today.
Yeah.
All right, still deploying here. Just patiently waiting. Didn't I have this open somewhere? Guess not.
All right. Well, I got to hop off here.
Yes, sir. Thanks for joining.
It's been fun. See you, everybody.
Have a great weekend, bro.
Hey, you too.
Bye.
Bye, too.
Let's see. Close that. Wow, still waiting for this thing. How much taking so long, bro? Oh, well, it's working now. Oh, okay. It did deploy. That's weird. It was still spinning. Okay, let's see if we can just get this to work all the way through one time. One last time. Stripe checkout should be embedded now. Environment variables. I did not update at least one necessary environment variable. I don't know if it's going to tell me that in the error log here. Not really. It will definitely be... It's not in this error log either. Okay, but we did... One last thing. We got to follow this through. Got to follow it through. Staging. Hold on. Back to here. Events, settings. So it'd be under settings. Go down to... Did I scroll too far? Build command. Do. Come on. Environment. Sorry. It's taking me a second. Got all the environment variables. I do definitely need to add our next public Stripe publishable key, which is not a secret. So I can just add it. Edit. Add. New variable. Boom. And get this from over here to right there. Boom. Save, rebuild, and deploy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure. For sure. So, going to rebuild that. I'm actually going to go look at this thing so I can... It should be pretty quick. I don't even think we're going to download in cache. Shouldn't even have to npm build. It should just run start. I should wait for it for a second here. There we go. It is building. Whatever. Whatever. I deployed this app on the free tier. Yes. I do have a couple paid services for clients though. But since we're in prototype mode right now, for this particular app, I'm not paying for it yet. Once we get out of... I'm deploying all this to a staging environment, right? So it's not production yet. It'll just be used for demos. Once we go to production, then I'll start paying for it. And again, this is an MVP. This is, you know, like, we don't even know if we have traction on this app yet. So I'm not going to make it super robust until I know users are using it. They want it more. Then we'll go harden that side of the house. I see that's whole thing you built up till now. If I understand your question successfully, then yes, this is everything that I've built up to now in progress. There it is. Okay, so finally deployed, it looks like. Oh, it's getting there. Here we go. External APIs. Yeah, it's using the client that I'm doing this for. They use ServiceTitan, and they have a Stripe account. So we're running all the payments through Stripe. ServiceTitan is where all of their data lives for like their plumbers. So like the schedules of the plumbers, the services they offer, all of that is kept within ServiceTitan. So I'm just building a NextJs app on top of those APIs to automate the workflow. And then I just said a second ago, Pushkar, I don't know if you were here at the time, but this is a video consultation app. So they're going to be able to do like meetings, like video meetings with each other. And we're going to use Whereby for that, which is a third-party service that provides APIs for video calls. Okay, it looks like this finally came up. So I just want to make sure the Stripe checkout is going to work. Submit. Hey, it's embedded. Hooty. I think I can pay with link here. I don't know if this is going to work. Enter your verification code. Should all be 0 because it's a test environment. Pay. It's a fake credit card. Finalizing your appointment. Boom. Confirmed. So now if I go back to, I just want to triple check here. Where did we go? Integration dashboard and ServiceTitan. Go to the calendar. And this was, oh, I can double check this. Let's see. Monday, June 9th at 4:30 with Doug. Monday, June 9th, 4:30. With a Dougie boy. Where's my Dougie boy? Doug. Bam. And then one of the other bugs we fixed today is on the invoice. We should see virtual service. Boom, baby. I think that wraps us up for today. Yeah, awesome. Go back to our board. Demo. This is all good. Done. All right, guys. Y'all have a great Friday. I don't know what time it is in India right now. Pushkar I'm into. But y'all have a good rest of your weekend. I'll be out next week, so I'll see you on the following week. Cheers.